Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know, I'm currently working on filming and producing a short film about my journey back to running after several years off from running in college. The film focuses on embodiment and grounding, mental health, and returning to things in a healthy way so that we can enjoy them without putting too much pressure and burden on ourselves. As part of the marketing campaign, if you will, for this film, I'm sitting down with athletes and people who are returning to a hobby or a sport after many years off because of trauma or burnout. I'm talking to people who maybe aren't even returning to something but are starting a new journey and learning how to do it in a healthy way that doesn't bog them down in self-identity and self-doubt. So this video is just that. I'm sitting down with my friend Nate, who recently started running about 6 months ago. We talk about everything from mental health to just taking on the physicality of running and dealing with the discomfort of going for a run every day. He's such a well-spoken person and has such great insights. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. If you're interested in this as a whole and as the film, there will be more information down below to follow Nate and to follow the film. I hope you guys come along for the journey. And I know this film is going to connect with a lot of people, whether it's from someone who has purposely stepped away from something to regain mental clarity and mental health, or someone who had something taken away from them. And I hope it's going to leave people with a healthier outlook on not only themselves and their self-image, but on their hobbies and their sports. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
I've known you for like 3 years now.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
When we met, you were not running, correct? Like you were not a runner.
Heck no. And like the thought of running, that's something that other disciplined fit people did. Not something that I do.
Yeah. So what got you into running? What made you kind of change your mind on that?
There's been like a couple things. Like I remember I lived with a guy named Josh for a while. We're still really good friends, but we had a house and he would always ask me to go on runs with him. He's a runner. And so we would go on like 1 mile runs. And I remember like he would be sprinting and I hated it. So like that was like my like first like intro. Like I got in a routine of going on runs with him for like 3 months. And then I was like, this sucks and I'm not doing this anymore. So like there was that. And then like I would like go to the gym and like, get on the treadmill for a little bit. But like, so like over the course of since college, I would run every now and then, but never like endurance running or longer than that. And it wasn't until my friend Memory, so this is another friend, but he asked me just a few months ago if I wanted to train for the Bentonville Half Marathon. And it just sounded like insurmountable. Like that's a goal that I cannot achieve. But something about my mindset telling me I can't do it, I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. And so that's why I said yes to it. And I was like, I'm going to train harder than I ever could and I'm going to do it. And so, yeah, hopefully that answered your question. But
so how many months have you been training then?
So since November. So what is that, like a little shy of 6 months?
Man, I thought it had been longer than that. Does it feel like longer than that?
It definitely feels a lot longer than that. Like, I don't know. I feel like the amount of runs I've gone on, and then I look back, it's only been like 5 or 6 months. I'm like, I feel like I've done a year's worth of training crammed into such short amount of time.
What was like the hardest part of starting training? Because I agree, like coming back, I would not have wanted to start training for a half marathon as my first goal. Like that's a lot. So what was that like?
Yeah. I think I liked it from the start. Like I think what I liked more than the runs was like the routine of it all. Like, and I loved having a goal that I was actively working on and felt like I was achieving. And so I think I liked that more than I enjoyed actually being on the run. And because there at the beginning, all the runs felt painful, or they felt like my mind the entire time was just like only a little bit more and then you're done. And it wasn't until like only a month or two ago that I started looking forward to the runs and enjoying the runs in the process. So I think I liked the routine and the goal setting more than I liked the runs at the beginning. And then that flipped eventually.
It's interesting because my experience coming back has been slightly flipped from that.
Okay.
Because at first I was like, I'm enjoying, like I'm excited to go for the run, but then my body just like is not as in shape as what it was when I was running before.
I see.
And so it was like, it's been very frustrating being like, a 3 mile run used to be easy for me, and now it's not.
Yeah.
Like, my muscles hurt. They just like don't want to keep up with me, and like I'm mentally there. Yeah, so that's interesting that it's like flipped for you. What on the days where it was before it started being where you were looking forward to it, what like got you off the couch or out the door to do it?
Oh, let me tell you. It's because I told everybody that I was doing it. So I told everyone in the beginning, like, I am running this half marathon.
It's like peer pressure
No,
now.
for real. Like, I committed, and then I'm thinking, like, I literally announced like it was a national holiday, and so now if I don't do it, then it's like gonna be embarrassing. So I
Yeah,
think it, yeah, literally was the like social accountability of it all
that's
that
one
kept me
way to do
going.
it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the best way to do
Maybe
it,
not.
but that's what I did.
That's cool though. One thing I've noticed, because you
Yeah,
post quite a bit about your running
yeah.
on social media, is you run with people a lot.
Like I had no idea that it could be such a social thing.
Oh yeah, for
So
sure.
crazy. Yeah.
And I feel like that's a piece that I'm missing. So like, how did that come to be? Did you just happen to know a lot of runners, or did it just kind of go as you started running? It kind of came about.
So yeah, like the friend that challenged me to run the half marathon, he's already one of my best friends. So
Mm-hmm.
one of my best friends already a runner. So I already kind of had like a built-in running buddy to do that with. But I think I've known of runners, just never been like close to them. So like whenever I'm posting on social media, people like runners are always like, "Hey, you come run with me? We can do a 5K together. We can do this." And so
Mm-hmm.
like everyone just wanted to run whenever I was posting about it. So yeah,
That's cool.
kind of cool.
Do you feel like a runner?
This is such an interesting question because I really don't like, and honestly, I think I get caught up in like how I look, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like I like my body type doesn't like match currently what like a runner's body
Sure.
would look like. And so I think that's what I'm in my head about of I don't look like a runner, textbook definition, like not that. But I've had many friends speaking to me of like, Nate, you literally are a runner. You're running this amount of miles, you're doing it consistently, you enjoy the runs and like it's a hobby that you want to do. So therefore, like definitionally, that makes you a runner. But yeah, I don't think the feeling is caught up to it yet. But there's been some
Yeah.
runs where I'm like, I'm a runner.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
Well, how do you deal with like having a bad run? Because
Well,
that for me, that's what makes me like, oh, like yesterday I went for a run and it felt great and I felt like a runner, and today not so much.
yeah, great timing for that question because literally yesterday was the worst run I've ever gone on.
Really?
I did 11 miles, which I'm in right now. It's like the peak training, and so this was the furthest I was going to run before the half marathon. So now I'm
Okay.
doing like a 2 month taper, right? And so it was 11 miles, but it was I started the run late, ran with two friends. We started around 10 o'clock, and so it got up to
It
like
got really
80, 90
warm.
degrees.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were all like a touch heat exhausted on that run. And so I think that made it miserable and also just like the new distance or whatever. But literally there was a point in my mind of like, you're gonna have to stop and like walk, or like you were going to like pass out. You need to like stop and get water. So I stopped like 6 times on that run to either walk or like there was one time that I just literally stopped and like sat by like a stream and just like caught my breath and like 5 minutes of that. And I remember like mentally like really like hitting on myself for stopping or
Mm-hmm.
stopping to walk because there's something in me that has this goal of like you're going to run the entire thing without stopping, and the fact that I stopped 6 times really got to me. But I think I remind myself that it's okay to like have really like it was hot out. Like
Mm.
I should like give myself the ability to be like, yeah, today I'm not feeling it that, but I still showed up and I still like went on the run. And so if I need to walk or if I need to stop for a moment, like that's okay. And so I could get hung up on the fact that I had a bad 11-mile run, or I could like think about all the many other runs that I went on that felt great
Or
and
that you
just
still did it.
yeah,
I mean, sure, maybe you
push through
walked,
even.
but I mean, 11 miles is not easy. I don't think I've ever run 11 miles.
Really? Okay, I
I
was
think
gonna
the
ask
most I've
you.
ever run is 10.
No
I
way.
think so.
Dang, and 10 mile, like it's so when you get to like that level, it's insane when you get done with the run. They're like, I did that.
Yeah.
I ran 10 miles.
It's also interesting. I feel like, I mean, long runs suck, okay? Like,
Yeah.
they're hard in like a way that a lot of things aren't.
Uh-huh.
But it's interesting. The more you do it, the easier they get. And also, it's like, I feel like once you hit a certain mile, it's probably different for everyone, but it's kind of like, I guess we're here. I guess we're going to finish it. Like,
Yeah,
I
like you
mean,
already ran 7,
I'm
might as
5
well
miles
do.
away from home now. I have to.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm gonna have to get home. So
yeah.
either I walk or I run.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, which is interesting about long runs because this long run, this past 11 mile was the worst one I've ever done. But historically, my short runs were always harder than my long runs.
Really?
I think I would like intentionally take the long runs like slower, a
Mm.
little easier. But yeah, it's interesting like how much of running is mental
Yeah.
because I think when it's a shorter run, I know it's shorter and so the threshold, lowers.
It
And
feels
so
like it's not going to be as hard, and maybe you don't give as much, or
yeah, no, that's
yeah,
exactly it.
or you
Or
think, oh, it's short, I can get it done quick, I'll go fast, and then you just kind of
I do think that is my issue.
yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
That's one thing that has been interesting for me because like I have had to make myself go slow
Mm,
to get through runs, and like it's very difficult because I know I'm like I look back in college, I'm like I could have run this like so much faster. I know
mm,
I know what my pace was
mm-hmm.
when I was in college, for just an average run, and I'm not in that place anymore. And so I'm like having to like teach myself like that's okay. Like maybe one day you'll get back there, but like right
Mm,
now, like you're at least off the couch running
yeah.
and you're enjoying it. So like that's kind of what
Yeah,
matters.
like you are moving, movement's a privilege. I get on that part of TikTok where you're seeing like people who finish marathons. And the people that finish marathons are of all different body types, all different weights, but also like amputees and stuff
Yeah.
like my stepdad, he was in a wheelchair for a majority of his life. And he would always tell me like when I would get back and I would complain about having to do exercise or go out and like mow the lawn. And he would
Mhm.
talk about like how he wishes he could do that
Yeah.
thing, even if it's uncomfortable or painful or whatever it
Yeah.
is, because the ability to walk and run is like such a gift and a privilege that so many people don't have. So like, yeah, the fact that you showed up and went on a run, like that's a huge win.
Yeah.
You did that.
So I know you said like you posted this for everyone to see, so you
Yeah.
have to keep going, but like aside from that, what keeps you coming back?
Yeah. I think there is like a greater thing of the past 2 years of my life have been the hardest that I've ever gone through. Lost my dad. There's some strained family relationships that was going on. There was also like this huge amount of like what is my purpose and calling in life and like that really like falling out from underneath me and so a very disorienting kind of past couple
Mhm.
years and I think I just really wanted something to like set my eyes on and a goal to have
Yeah.
again and then also something that grows and develops me and is challenging and hopefully this isn't like going so deep or so abstract but there's a lot of things about running that have ties into like life and suffering and so whenever I'm running this is interesting because I talked about this in therapy with my counselor
Mhm.
because I was telling my counselor like I just don't understand why I have to like suffer in life or pain or even like the biblical side of it or in religion and faith about God allowing suffering to happen in your life.
Sure.
There's a part of me that like kind of resents that I
Yeah.
have to do that or go through it. And my counselor was like, "Well, Nate, you go on runs all the time, and you tell me that like you push through the pain because you know the pain makes you better, and like
Mhm.
the uncomfortability of the run, it is only going to make you faster, only make you have more endurance. Like, why wouldn't you apply that same logic to life?" And honestly, it's become a huge metaphor the past couple months of training of whenever I'm running and I'll have these like affirmations whenever that part of the run where my mind's saying like, you could stop at like mile 6. You don't have to keep on going 2 more miles or whatever. That I'll say to myself like this like uncomfortability, this pain, this like desire to stop it'll pass and it'll only like serve me to keep on going and it'll only make me better.
Mhm.
And it has just like greater implications, I think, for life. And it's making me like mentally stronger, getting me better fortitude in my mind to whenever something really challenging or traumatic or painful happens, that I'm able to keep going. So
Yeah.
run your race with endurance.
Yeah. I can relate to that because when like I was running in college, I just did it kind of out of the obligation of it to my
Yeah.
teammates, to the school, whatever. And yeah, it's interesting now, like kind of having to reframe the mental talk, particularly on a run, but even sometimes in between if I'm having a rough couple of days running and I don't feel like I'm ever gonna get any better, or like I'm never gonna attain the goals that I want
Yeah.
to. Like I have to tell myself this is what training is.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult, but it's going to make you better. Like I'm never going to be able to hit my goals if I don't go through like, the waves of
Yes.
returning and what it is like to get your body back in shape and able to accomplish the goals you have set out for yourself.
Lainey, yeah, that's really, really good. Yeah, yeah, like, this thing will only make you better. In that moment, it might not feel like it, like,
Yeah, it doesn't. It
when you
never
get that
does.
side stitch, you
Yeah.
know, that that little pain in your side, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like that's gonna make me better in the moment. It feels like
Yeah.
I need to stop.
Yeah, you can't like physically see your muscles or whatever like strengthening and like learning from that particular awful run that you're like, no, I didn't get anything out of that.
Yeah,
You can't see the like, I don't know, I don't even know if it's microscopic, but like invisible things that are like literally strengthening
yeah.
not only your body but your, your mental ability to push through the pain.
Huge, like, I had no idea before even getting into running that it does that, like, that's why I was running with an ultra marathoner, Jenny Beard. Do you know her from church?
No, but I saw you post about it. That's
She
really
had
cool.
some of the best wisdom. Honestly, like, you should talk to her about some of this
Okay.
stuff too. But she was telling me that, Nate, there's a reason why a lot of like addicts will like pick up running, is because it's like
Interesting.
something with, well, addiction's all like mental anyway. Like, the
Mm-hmm.
reason why people get an addiction is because, there's some sort of obsession or a need that they're trying to fill, and they're doing it through some sort of unhealthy means. And the way that they find a lot of recovery, often, like, statistically, a huge part of like addict communities will turn to running, is because it like helps them overcome in their mind, like, that type of like discipline, and also telling yourself that like pain is temporary. It's okay to be uncomfortable for a little bit. You don't have to, like, the second you feel pain or uncomfortability, you don't have to like just cure that or make it go away with a substance or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, you can like sit with it and know that that pain only makes you better. And that's literally what running is like, you have to fight through like that uncomfortability in order to get better, and keep on going farther, more distance, longer, whatever. And anyway, I just think that's so fascinating that it like can sharpen your
Yeah.
mind that way.
I have for like the longest time have like, and I think I still believe this, that like running is one of the most like, I think it's one of the most physically demanding.
Oh yeah, I think so.
And like, cause I would always, I mean, sure, maybe you have football where you're like physically getting hit, but like
Right.
you're volunteering to do that.
Yeah,
I don't
they're
know.
sick in the head.
Like running is just so like, it encompasses all of your body and it's so draining. And I would
Yeah.
always think, and this is one of the things that was difficult for me competing in college, like if you're on a soccer team,
Hmm.
yeah, sure, it's gonna hurt. You put in a lot into training, but like it's your whole team
Yeah.
winning or losing the game.
Right.
Whereas, yeah, sure, I have teammates, and yeah, I have teammates that score, for
Hmm.
the meet that I'm running in, but like ultimately my performance is up to me.
Yeah.
And I think that weighed a lot on me in college. And I see your point, like saying like people will turn to running as an outlet, but like I can see it going the other way where it can become unhealthy.
Yeah. Yeah. And you had experience with it
Yeah,
becoming that way.
yeah. Like I just put so much on myself and thought I had to perform well. And I mean, there was other reasons why I stopped running when I did, and
Hmm.
it was difficult. But some of it was just the mental, like I feel such pressure to perform well, and like I didn't know what to do with that.
That's, it's honestly like really like, it can be an incredible tool in like to sharpen your mind, make you
Mm-hmm.
better. Sounds like the inverse can also be true.
Yeah,
That like
exactly.
running
Mm-hmm.
can turn into a weapon if it's used
Yeah,
with like the wrong intention, or if there's like outside pressure that's not healthy or whatever. Like,
yeah.
running could actually be very negative in this
Mm-hmm.
case, like what it was for you in
Yeah.
college.
And so that's what I'm trying to like avoid this time around. It's like making sure I'm sticking with it. And
Do you have to have like strict boundaries
oh yeah,
to make sure you don't fall back
because
into that?
there's been days where I'm like, say maybe I wanted to go for 3 miles and I like just physically wasn't able to, and so I would go 2, and then I literally the other day was walking in the front door and I was like, maybe I need to go on a second run today to try to make up the miles.
Oh man.
And which I have no need to do that.
Hmm.
I'm not currently training for like a specific race, or like in college maybe, yeah, like when I was in a place where it was like, oh, I didn't get all my miles in before, and
Hmm.
like my coach is asking this certain number from me today, so like maybe I'll break it up into two because of classes or whatever.
Hmm.
Like that I feel like was okay, but in this instance, like I think I would have done more damage physically to myself
Yeah.
by doing that.
Yeah.
Not even to mention that I'm asking too much of myself.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I thought about that same thing on the run yesterday because I pushed through to run 11 miles,
Hmm.
but I don't think that was the healthiest thing that I could have done on that run. I think whenever I was starting to feel a little heat exhaustion, when I was feeling like dizzy or nauseated, like I
Mm,
pushed through all that thinking like, well, this is what running is. Like it's like mental toughness and all that.
yeah.
But there is like a level of it too of like listen to your body. And when your body's telling you like it's reached its limit or whatever, or like what you're saying, like you didn't need to go on that second run to
Yeah.
like prove something or to like meet a goal or whatever. Like
Hmm.
you already showed up for yourself. Why would you need to like do that
Do it
again?
again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I guess that's always too. Like when you're running, like always like assessing like the intentions and why you're doing things,
Yeah.
and
And it kind of
yeah,
feels a little silly, like analyzing it so much, but I also feel like you said, you kind of you have to put those boundaries on yourself
yeah,
because
yeah,
then it can just, I don't know if I would ever get addicted to running in that in like in a way that seems like fun.
mm-hmm,
Like sometimes like, oh, I'm addicted to coffee. Like that
mm-hmm.
sounds fun, or like that, like you, but like if you're addicted to running, I think in my case it would be pretty unhealthy and like putting more strain on my body than I need to.
Yeah, yeah. Because would the addiction be to the running or to something else?
Probably something else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like running is like
Like to the
the
number
means
of
of
it,
whatever,
or
right?
to say I did it, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a pride thing, I don't know.
Like I think about that too. Like if I'm running a half marathon just to like prove to people that I can do it, it's probably not the best intention to do it, you know? Like if it's other centered, you know, and not like
Yeah.
something that I'm doing just for like personal growth or development or anything. If there's any other reason outside of that, probably it would be unhealthy.
What surprised you about your body when you started running?
The first thing that comes to mind is in my head like running super long distance above 10 miles or even 6 miles. Like I didn't think that I had the body type to do it. And so also I like observed a race recently too of half marathoners that it's all body types. And so
Mm-hmm.
like aerobic capacity and endurance, like that's one level of fitness. And then there's like strength fitness and all that. And running just requires like a level of like endurance and like lung capacity and all
Yeah.
that. Um, and so I think that's what surprised me when I started running is that like, oh, I don't look that much different in the mirror than what I did 5 months ago. I've lost a little bit of weight, but like if you were to like put a photo of me side by side, like to anyone else, you
Mm-hmm.
couldn't really tell. But for me, I'm like, but I can tell like I am like fit in a way that I've never been fit before.
Yeah.
And but it's not something that like can be seen. It's something that's like in my endurance and in my breathing and lung
Mm-hmm.
capacity. So, um, yeah, yeah, I think I would say that is what surprised me the most.
I think my body's capability is what has always surprised me about running, because when I went to college, I was like, I'm going to do it, but I wasn't 100% convinced I could be a college runner.
Mm,
And like, sure, NAIA is not, the most elite of college athletics, but I always remembered having our track workouts once or twice a week in the morning and just being like absolutely blown away that I was able to do the reps at the speed we were doing.
mm. And you surprise yourself.
Yeah.
There's like a level of like
Uh-huh.
pride of like, heck yeah, I'm
Yeah.
Laney and I can do that. Come on,
Yeah.
that's also like all of your work that you finally are seeing like the fruit of,
Mhm.
which has to be like an incredible feeling.
Yeah. I I think that's one of my things that I'm looking forward to the most is like doing track workouts again,
Hey
which
yo,
is so interesting because in high school, for 2 years, I refused to do track because I was like, I hate running in circles. And towards the end of college, I think I was like, I think I like track a little better than cross country. I mean, there is just an aspect of it, like the terrain is
mm.
easier. Um,
On the track.
yeah,
I
like you
see.
don't have any hills, you don't
Yeah,
have,
because it's just level,
yeah.
same
But
texture and all that.
like doing the track workouts in college, like I just felt so proud of what I was doing.
Mm.
Like
Wow.
even though I wasn't the best on the team, or like I wasn't gonna go to track nationals or anything, but it was still cool because it was like I didn't know my body, like bodies could physically do that.
And like the human body is capable of doing so much.
Yeah.
Like, and I think we limit ourselves often. Like, we'll save it for like the super strong athletes or whatever, like the impressive people. And
Yeah.
like, but I'm not capable of doing that.
Yeah.
But like, my body's capable of doing so much more than I ever thought possible. Like, if I were to stick with running and sort of like, I could run ultra marathons if I like wanted to do that and trained for it, and that like my body has the ability to accomplish that, which is so insane because
Yeah.
like right now I'm like, no way, like I can hardly run 11 miles. But yeah, just really cool that the human body can do that. Is
Yeah.
what's awesome.
Do you run to clear your head or to be present with yourself?
My motivating for like why I run is probably like the goal that I set for myself
Mm-hmm.
right now. But I have noticed along the way. So I used to strictly just run with AirPods in, and I would like just try to like mentally get my mind elsewhere. That way I wouldn't have to think about being uncomfortable or like a pain of a run or whatever. And Kaylee from church, she challenged me to run without headphones in at all. So I tried it once, but I'm like, this is gonna suck. But I actually very much enjoyed that run because there was a moment, like it took me a while into the run, but there was a moment where I got very clear headed. And when I say clear headed, it's not like there was no thoughts, but it's like all that like, oh, I'm not running fast enough, or like I have like I'll be done in 12 minutes. Like all of that went
Mm-hmm.
away in my head, and I could start like
Like the
processing
analyzing
life.
of the run kind of
Yes.
faded away.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
analyzing of the run went away. And I was thinking about like just life. I was thinking about God. I was thinking about my family. But it was in like a level of clarity that I would not have had if I wasn't running. And I think that's what I really love about a run. Is either A, running with someone, just being social, or if I'm running by myself, that like clear headed ability to analyze life and situations
Mm-hmm.
while I'm running. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's interesting you say that because this is just a side note, and like I've completely changed my opinion on this. But when
uh,
I was in college, I used to think that real runners didn't listen to music, and like maybe there is an element of like truth to that because, like you said, you don't you can become clear headed and not overthink a run,
yeah.
even if you're not listening to music.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I've kind of started running again since December, I have started listening to music.
Hmm.
Um, and I think part of it was because I was like, I just want to like be able to listen to something and not focus on what I'm physically going through.
Hmm.
And then it was interesting because there was one day I went to go on a run and my earbuds were dead. And I was like, and I told Dakota, I said out loud, I said, well, that's okay. I think a quiet run sounds nice today. And I blew myself away by saying that. I was like, I think that means like I'm kind of having a healthy approach to this today.
Wow.
Like I don't need to
Wow.
zone out to go for a run. Like I can be present in it and like
Wow.
maybe the analyzing will start, but maybe it'll go away and then, you're left with just I love running outside because I can hear the sounds and kind of like
Yeah.
ground myself in them
Oh, especially like
instead
an
of
early
something
morning run.
that's drowning out
Yes.
all the sounds, if that makes sense.
No, that
That
definitely
didn't
does
really
make sense.
that wasn't worded well, but
No, I know exactly what you're
yeah.
meaning. Yeah, like yeah, going out and like listening to the birds chirp in like in the early morning, or
Yeah.
I don't know, there's just something like very like can be very peaceful when you do that.
Hmm.
But also I love a run with music too.
Oh, for sure.
Give me a good playlist, give me a good
Especially when I'm
podcast.
at the gym. Like if
Oh
I'm
yeah.
at the gym, I think I listen to music for different reasons just because it's extremely boring
Yeah.
when you run on a treadmill.
So boring.
Yeah.
Which I never that was something that I thought that I was strictly going to do half marathon training on a treadmill.
Oh,
And like
really?
yeah, cuz I was like every time I run outside I hated it. Like I didn't want to like have all the different hills and all that. And now it's like, why wouldn't I not want to run outside?
Yeah.
Hopefully I said that right. But yeah, like it's so fun to run outside versus on a treadmill now.
Yeah. It's been interesting. I lately have been noticing that I can more consistently do more miles on a treadmill than I can outside.
Oh no way.
And I think the only reason that was happening was because I realized I was like looking at the pace because like I run by feel on a treadmill,
Yeah.
like just what feels comfortable, but I would look at the pace when I felt comfortable and I'm like, this is significantly slower than what I'm doing
Mm,
outside. And that's when I realized I was like, I think I need to slow down and build my tolerance up a little bit.
yeah.
And that's maybe why I'm not hitting the miles as easily outside because I'm overachieve like I'm just going out too hard and overachieving it.
Oh, that's so interesting. Wow. Because is it harder in your experience on the treadmill than it is outside, or is outside harder?
It just depends. Like if I used to have it where if I would run on a treadmill a lot, like my legs would get kind of like my
Mhm.
hamstrings would get messed up. So I could only do it a couple times a week. Mentally, I think outside's easier.
Yeah,
But like I
I
said,
think so too.
in this case, like just going slower, because
Mhm.
I don't know if you experience this. Treadmills always feel faster than the
Mm.
actual pace you're running.
Yeah.
Like if I was running the same pace on a treadmill versus outside, I would feel like I couldn't hold the
Yeah.
treadmill pace.
Yeah. I feel
Just
that.
because like there's something about the belt moving. I don't know.
Mhm.
So in that case, like it can feel a little hard because it feels faster. But
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
I'm
so
at a
interesting.
weird place with like I'm not focusing on my paces and like trying to go a certain distance. Like I've just kind of used it as a metric to know like, oh, maybe I'm going too hard
Yeah. Yeah.
outside.
That's something too that I've about pace is like I've kind of like removed that burden from me at the very beginning of like I'm half marathon training and like my goal is not a specific time or a
Mm,
pace, but literally just to finish it.
yeah.
And so anytime I'm like caught up in like, oh, it wasn't the same pace as last week or whatever, I just remember like, who cares? Like you're
Yeah.
showing up and like as long as you do the thing, that's the goal. So
I've definitely had to make myself not focus on pace because
yeah,
I would feel so
I'm sure college has a huge part to do with that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would feel so like inadequate and like I think I would give up if it was about my pace right now
Mm,
because I'm not running what I have been capable of in the
like it
past.
could be discouraging
Yeah.
if you were to like
Yeah.
hyperfixate on it.
And part of it is a little bit freeing because like you would go you would go to track practices and they'd be like, okay, you're gonna run this interval at this pace, and it's like 20% of your race pace. Then you have to take your like running math, and like so there's a part of it where it's like I don't even have to worry about that anymore. I can just go run
Yeah.
and not worry about any of that. Like
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that is nice.
Wait, a lot of this is like comparable to like because I played like trumpet and marching
Uh-huh.
band in college and high school, and that felt very unenjoyable because it was like competitive and like
Mhm.
it was very nerve wracking. And now like I played trumpet for Christmas at church, and it was so fun. And I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
remember having this much fun playing. And I think it's just because of like I took away all the stressors,
Yeah.
that were there at once. It's so cool.
That's cool. Do you think you'll keep running after your half?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely think so. There was a part of me that was like, I need another goal though, like
Yeah.
because I know me,
I
and
was
if I
gonna
don't,
say, will you go for a full next,
I thought about
or
it.
will you go for like a time goal for a half? What do you think?
I was sold out on like I'm doing a full marathon. Like part of me is like I'm already halfway, so might as well like go for
Yeah.
the full. But I don't know. This past run yesterday, I told you it was like pretty difficult. It really made me like reconsider. I know that I want to keep running. Like
Yeah.
I I just want to be someone who has the routine of running, like, and I just need some sort of goal. And so I don't know. I think after the half marathon I'll reassess. Maybe even like do some hybrid training. I've thought about like getting into cycling some too,
Mm.
and so
Would you get into triathlons or something?
maybe it's. I think like that would be like a future thing. I think it like interests me,
Yeah.
but
I think it
yeah,
interests me too. Like I like having more than one thing to do.
yeah.
You know, in a race. But man,
It's
they're a
just
lot.
so much
It's
like
so
an Iron
different
Man and all
too.
that. I'm on like Iron Man TikTok where I'll see
Really?
like people doing that.
What's in an Ironman?
So I couldn't tell you the distances. I do know it's a full marathon, and then it's like 100 something on a bike, and then I couldn't tell you how many laps or whatever, swimming, yards swimming or
Yeah.
whatever. Each of the three things, the swimming, the biking, marathon, are like it's the marathon of the bike, it's the marathon of the swimming. So like basically you're doing like
Oh,
three top tier races in each of
in
those
one
categories
race.
in one
That's
race.
crazy.
But yes, I do think I'm gonna keep running. But to what the goal will be, I'm gonna reassess after the
Yeah.
half marathon. But
I think I decided maybe yesterday that I think I want to train for a 10K.
hey yo, come on.
Yeah.
You know, like the families that do 10Ks on Thanksgiving Day?
10Ks?
People do 10K, or yeah, I feel like it's
Sometimes
10Ks, is it
I
not?
feel like the common Thanksgiving Day race is 5 miles.
Is it?
5K or 5 miles, I feel like is what I hear the most. But I'm sure there's some 10Ks out there.
Maybe that's true. But I want to do that. Like I want to
Oh,
be the
have a
family that like
does
yes.
10K.
Yes, I'm trying to get my like mom and my sister trying to do it. I got to train them up to a 10K.
I kind of just did a really quick Google search before you came over of like 10Ks in the area.
Yeah.
And one of the ones that was suggested, first of all, is called like Sizzling 10K or something, and it's on August 29th.
Heck no, I
And
ain't
I'm
doing no
like,
sizzling 10K.
I was like, I don't think that name is very appealing to me.
On the black
Yeah.
asphalt or something like that. No
But
way.
I was like, would I be ready for a 10K by August? But maybe it's not about that. Maybe I just train what I can and go do it
Well, that's the
and
thing
see what
is that I
happens.
feel like it's possible, but if it comes at the expense of your body or your enjoyment of running, then
Yeah,
like
that's
not worth
true.
it. I think that would be so fun, and maybe I run it with you.
Hey, I always wanted to try the 10K because in college, not all meets, but some meets will have a 10K track race.
Mm.
Which on a track, that's rough. It's a long race.
That was my conversation with Nate, and I'm so excited that he was my first interview because I knew he was going to have such great insights, and I think he has great outlooks for all of us who maybe are returning to something that we once loved. And even for those of us who maybe are getting into something new and learning how to do it healthily. If you're interested in following along on the film, you can check out the link down below. I will also link Nate's Instagram, and I hope you guys have a great day. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.